Okay, so we're diving into a really fascinating report about AI in the nonprofit world, and it uncovers this central puzzle, a paradox really, that I think a lot of organizations are feeling right now, even if they can't quite put a name to it.
And here it is, right here in these two numbers. On one side, you have a huge 92% of nonprofits saying, yeah, we're using AI. That's pretty much everyone. But then you look at the other side, and only 7%, just 7, report that it's having a major impact on their mission. So what on earth is going on in that massive gap between adoption and impact?
This quote from a fundraising leader in the report just absolutely nails it. We're definitely faster, but we haven't fundamentally changed what we're capable of. They're doing the same old things, just maybe a little bit quicker. And this right here is the heart of what the report calls the efficiency plateau.
So let's get into the diagnosis. Why are so many organizations stuck on this plateau? What's really interesting is the report's conclusion. The problem isn't the technology itself. Nope, it's all about a lack of organizational readiness. Okay, so let's put a pin in this term so we're all on the same page. The efficiency plateau. It's when your teams are using AI to do the same tasks faster, but they're not actually changing what they can accomplish or really expanding their capacity. Think of it like this. It's the difference between writing a fundraising email 10 minutes faster versus, say, doubling your ability to research new donors. One is a nice little shortcut, the other is a complete strategic game changer.
So why are teams getting stuck? Well, the report points to a few missing foundational pieces. First, and this number is just staggering, 81% of teams are using AI on an ad hoc basis. That means everyone is just kind of doing their own thing. There are no shared processes, no documented workflows. It's the Wild West.
And get this, almost half, we're talking 47%, have no official AI governance policy at all. That means there are no clear rules of the road. People are just left guessing what's allowed, what's encouraged, and maybe most importantly, what's totally off limits, especially when you're dealing with sensitive donor data.
And this kind of free-for-all approach has real costs. Just think about it for a second. When someone on your team figures out a brilliant way to use AI and then they leave, poof, that knowledge just walks right out the door with them. You've got different people solving the exact same problem over and over again. It's just so inefficient, and it completely slams the brakes on any real progress.
This whole lack of readiness creates what the report calls the Great Readiness Gap. And what happens is, as organizations get more and more experience with AI, their challenges actually start to change. And this really clear divide starts to pop up between the organizations that are prepared and the ones that aren't. Now, this is what I find really insightful. Look at how the barriers evolve. When you're a beginner, you're worried about things like a lack of training or just needing some basic guidance to get started. But for teams that are using AI every single day, the problems become way more structural. Not having enough time, legitimate concerns about data privacy, and even skepticism from other staff who've seen some pretty mediocre AI output. And this chart just brilliantly illustrates the two paths that are forming in the sector right now. On one side, you have the organizations without these foundations in place, and they're stuck. They're getting low impact. But on the other side, the organizations that do have governance and shared processes, their returns are actually accelerating. And this gap, it's only going to get wider, which could create a permanent divide between the most and least effective organizations out there.
So the crucial point is this. The solution isn't just to tell your team to use AI more. They're probably already doing that. The real question, the one that unlocks all that transformative impact, is how do you build AI into the very fabric of how your organization works?
Thankfully, the report doesn't just diagnose the problem and then, walk away. It actually gives us a path forward. It lays out a simple 6-step framework to break through that efficiency plateau and start building real, actual capability.
Okay, let's just quickly walk through it. Step 1, assign a cross-functional team. This can't just be an IT project. Step 2, figure out who actually owns governance. 3, create a simple acceptable use policy. 4, and this one is so important, document what's actually working and share it with everyone. 5, pair the right tools with your actual strategy. And finally, number 6, measure the results so you know what's really making a difference.
Now, if you're looking at that list and feeling a little overwhelmed, here's the best part. The report is really clear on this. Putting these foundations in place is not some massive year-long project. It takes weeks, not months. For example, your very first acceptable use policy? That can probably be drafted in a single 1-hour meeting. It's totally doable.
So let's move to the conclusion, because it really serves as this powerful call to action. The report stresses that the window to get this stuff right is right now. The next few months are absolutely critical.
And here's why. Right now, most teams are still in this fluid, experimental phase with AI. But pretty soon, those ad hoc habits are going to solidify into permanent culture. It becomes just how we do things here. And once those patterns lock in, man, they become so much harder to change. Acting now means you get to be intentional about what that AI culture actually looks like.
So really, this is the choice that every nonprofit leader is facing. Is AI going to be just a collection of personal shortcuts for your team, leading to some minor efficiency gains? Or are you going to build the foundation to turn it into a true strategic springboard, something that fundamentally expands what your organization is capable of achieving? The path you choose in the next few months will very likely decide that for years to come.